Okay, now I would like to read a section of the book where I had not read before. And this is a section where, after Sylvia's death, uh, where Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. Lester Likens were informed by authorities or other people about Sylvia's death. So this is on page 91. Mr. and Mrs. Lester Likens were sleeping comfortably in their hotel room in Jacksonville, Florida, the night of October 26, 1965. They had been doing well with their lunch stand in the Florida Carnival, and in a week they would be back home in Indiana. It was the last fair of the season. They had saved enough money on the northern tour to buy their own stand by the time they headed for Florida. The telephone rudely interrupted their slumber. The caller was D.L. Burton, a former neighbor in Indianapolis. The news was bad. Likens could not believe it. In semi-shock, he and his wife Betty climbed into their clothes and caught a taxi back to the fairground, from where a friend gave them a lift to the airport. They arrived in Indianapolis to claim their daughter's mangled body about midday on Wednesday, October the 27th. In police headquarters, Likens asked to see the signed statement of his other daughter, Jenny. He began reading it but could not finish. Tears welled in his eyes, then poured forth. Late afternoon shadows shaded the Russell and Hitch funeral home in Lebanon, Indiana. The lilt of children's laughter could be heard faintly outside. From the direction of the school, inside, children and adults wept. It was Friday, October the 29th. The Reverend Louise Gibson was assuring his listeners that the soul of Sylvia Likens was in heaven. We all have our time, the preacher reminded, but we won't suffer like our little sister suffered during the last days of her life. He strode toward the gray open casket, whispering, "She has gone to eternity." A portrait of Sylvia, taken before her stay at 3850 East New York Street, adorned the casket. A 14-car procession followed the hearse to Oak Hill Cemetery. On the outskirts of East Lebanon, Mr. and Mrs. Likens and their surviving children rode with Likens' brother Leroy, member of the Reverend Mr. Gibson's congregation at Charity Tabernacle in Indianapolis. A few more words, a hymn, a tree swaying in the breeze. a few falling leaves, and it was over.